Okay, where is it? Player. Okay. So now it's the same Silverlight media player using that cached video content that's running locally on my machine. So it makes it very easy. There's no need for me to put my machine on hibernate or standby mode. I can just say, make this player available offline, go back home, and have the same video experience when I'm at home, right? So again, you might want to think about doing all these kind of things too. What is this for? It's all about your viewers, your readers of your blogs or whatnot. You might want to think about having a really good experience for them. So it's as simple as that. If I right mouse click on this, take a look at that, it's still Silverlight. When I'm done with this video, I'll just remove this application and it disappears. It clears off the cache and it's not available on my machine anymore. Right? As simple as that. Okay, so I've shown you the Silverlight for WordPress plugin, shown you the Silverlight media player for WordPress. There is also another WordPress media player. I don't think I have enough time to show you, but you get a picture of how you can actually embed the Silverlight application or Silverlight media player into your machine. Right? I've also shown you some videos which I've encoded using expression encoder. Okay, now about Windows Azure. Right? Yesterday I was actually monitoring some tweets as well. Some guys are like, oh, I want to see WordPress actually run on Windows Azure. And the first thing I want to show you is that it doesn't mean that the whole entire blog has to be on Windows Azure. That's not the case. Again, you must be very clear about what benefits you're getting out from the cloud. If it's about elasticity, it's about scaling out, paying what you use, pay as you go, then you're right to use cloud. Right? So I'm not here to really shove cloud down your throat. It's not about that. So if you reckon that, you know what, storage space is actually pretty expensive and then I have certain spikes, sometimes I need to upload a lot of content, but those content are pretty short-lived, right? So I just want to put a little bit of content for a while, then Windows Azure storage is great for that. Because this is really scalable storage. Right? You put something in there, you don't want it anymore, just get rid of it. So there is also a plugin available, and I think I've shown you that just now, but just to bring that page up again. So that page is okay, let me just go back to the dashboard. And all you have to do, right, is just get other plugins. There's a Windows Azure storage for WordPress. So all I have to do is just configure this. The settings looks a little bit like this. So I need to put in some values. Of course, you need to have an account on Windows Azure. So it needs an account name, a primary access key. This access key is randomly generated. So you can also regenerate this key if you want to. Choose a storage container, right? And just save changes. Now, where do I get all these values from? When you sign up for a Windows Azure account, it is available, all these are available to you. So let me just bring you that screen. Now, if you can really write very fast, you can copy down my primary access key and you can start using this for free if you want to. But I can always regenerate the key, okay? So this is the URL. Imagine this is like my file drive, right, in the cloud. And how I access this storage is by that URL there. You can also enable HTTPS by default, it's enabled, so you can do that absolutely. So mylivestreaming.blog.core.windows.net. And this is actually sitting in our data center in, yes, where is that? Southeast Asia. Singapore, you're right. Okay. Too bad I don't have a t-shirt with me. Maybe you can talk to my colleague over the side. Yes, it's in Singapore. There are 2 data center locations here. There's a backup one in Hong Kong, 2 in Europe, 1 in Amsterdam, 1 in Dublin. In US, we have 1 in Chicago and in Texas. Right? But it's only going to grow. This is our initial. We just launched this service on April 19. I was actually waiting for this. So once you get that, besides that, another good thing is that you can enable CDN, Content Delivery Network, something like Akamai. We have our own as well for delivering your content. So if I upload a video file onto my Azure storage and I say, let's enable CDN, it's going to catch this in all the Edge servers so that it's closer to my viewers, right? So you can absolutely do that. And there are also ways in which you can actually go inside and take a look at what's available, right? So I'm going to show you a management console. So this management console, I've already configured this to go over to my structure. So I've got two containers here, Mixstand and WordPress. So let's take a look at what's available in WordPress. So I've got a smooth streaming player inside. That Wildlife MP4 is running in there. Okay, if I want to preview this, I can say just view this in browser to show you there's not smoke in the mirrors. So this indeed going over to the data center in Singapore, pulling out that image from our data center. As simple as that. Okay. Now, what has it got to do with WordPress, right? So I'm going to go in WordPress, not this one. Okay, I'm going to create another new post. And this time around, I can actually, instead of uploading a content, a file, or video, or photo into my local WordPress directory, I can actually upload this onto the cloud. And once you install that Windows Azure plugin, you find this button available. So you click that. It's going to bring you over to the page, and you say which container do you want to upload this to. So I want to put this into WordPress, okay, and I'm going to, let's see, let's choose an image, right? And this has already been uploaded in there. If I click publish, so then again, it's really treating my Azure storage as something in the cloud. Now typically why would you want to do this is because, again, like you have video content, we've got content delivery network enabled, so you can absolutely have that. And if you have something that has spikes, let's say you put up a video content, you're not too sure how well this video content would do. So you just put it up here. If it's not doing so well, you just get rid of it and you just pay for that short duration of time, right? But if you have a lot of viewers or whatnot, then you may even want to think about spawning multiple instances of your WordPress blog running on the Azure infrastructure. Okay. So what I mean by that is that I'm going to bring you back to the slides. I'm going to show you if you want to run WordPress in the Windows Azure cloud, you can absolutely do that. And how we do this is that why you want to do this is because of the scalability factor. You can scale out your blog. Back to our partners in US, the guys called Least Specific. So they never ever know when there's going to be a spike on the server, and they do not want to turn any visitors away, right? So whenever there's a spike, it's very simple. They just change the configuration of their application in the cloud. So WordPress, PHP application running in the web role in Windows Azure. So if you want to scale this out, you just change the configuration item to say that I want 100 instances of this, and it's really possible. And how you do that, right? Again, if I bring you back over to the portal, the Azure Developer Portal. So if I click on, say, this one, PHP on Azure. I'm not going to wait for that. I'm just going to come back to this later. I can actually increase instances, and then all of a sudden I can have 100 instances of my blog running, and this load balancer comes for free, right? If you're not a techie, you shouldn't even be, you should not need to know what is actually happening behind the scene. The load balancer will take care of all those things for you. And if you want scalable storage, something that is of that rubber band effect, can expand and shrink, you use Windows Azure storage for that, for your binary large objects like files, videos, or images. But you have any data you want, you can also put it into SQL Azure, which is a relational database in the cloud. So the good thing is that, remember the first website I showed you, which says Microsoft loves WordPress, you can actually download the whole distribution which we have modified so that it actually talks to SQL Azure. So you can absolutely do that. Okay, so that's what the load balancer does, you can see. I'm going to show you in a while. Let's say if I put WordPress in the cloud, how am I going to stretch it? So you stretch it not just 3 times. I remember this song where it's like shake it, shake it, right? Maybe the next thing is like stretch it, stretch it with Azure Cloud Storage. So I'm going to go back to that page. So you see I have a hello PHP on Azure that's already running on production mode. This is the URL, phpazuremine.cloudapp.net. When I click on